Welcome students. Today we will discuss elementary signals. These are of five types: exponential, sinusoidal, step function, impulse function, ramp function, and all of which serve as basic building block for construction of more complex signals. They may be used to model many physical signals that occur in nature as well. So first, exponential signal. It is basic simple structure. Xt is equal to b e raised to power at, where b and a are two constants t with respect to time. If a is negative, then it is a decaying exponential. If a is positive, then it is a growing exponential. Now a physical example, you can say that it is a lossy capacitor case. When capacitor is fully charged at initial time, capacitor is fully charged, and then current in the circuit will start discharging through R. That is, it is equal to C d upon dt Vt. Vt is the instantaneous voltage across the capacitor, and its solution, it is a first order differential equation, and its solution is Vt is equal to V naught e raised to minus t upon Rc. So this resembles from the general expression of exponential signal, that is B is equal to V naught, and here A is equal to minus 1 upon Rc, where Rc is the time constant of capacitor through which it charges or discharges. Second is sinusoidal signal. These are again the very common signal. Xt is equal to a cos omega t plus phi, where a is amplitude, omega is angular frequency, radian per second unit, and phi is phase angle, unit is radian. It is periodic signal obviously when it spreads from minus infinite to infinite limit, with period t equal to 2 pi by omega. And you can check the periodicity with this period obviously, because from here omega capital T is equal to 2 pi, where t is fundamental time period. Now xt plus t, suppose we are putting t is replaced by t plus t, that is omega t plus t plus pi. Now multiplying omega t plus omega capital T, omega t is here, omega capital T is replaced by 2 pi. Now the omega t plus 2 pi plus phi becomes omega t plus phi after one complete cycle. Okay, now it is again the same function xt. So xt is equal to xt plus t, that is, it is a periodic function with respect to time. Now it is a physical example. We can say that a parallel LC circuit, a parallel LC inductor capacitor circuit, where voltage is across the inductor is Vt. So representing this circuit in differential form, Vt is equal to Vt plus LC d2 upon dt square, Vt is equal to 0. That is, it is second order differential equation, and its solution is Vt is equal to V naught cos omega naught t, where t is always positive, that is from initial time obviously, and omega naught is 1 upon root LC, that is constant of the circuit, and it depends upon the constants, and it is a natural oscillation frequency. It is also known as tank circuit. In discrete time domain, xn is equal to a cos omega n plus phi. It is also omega. It's capital omega, it is small omega in Roman. So xn is equal to a cos omega n plus phi. Omega is equal to 2 pi upon capital N into m radian per cycle, where m and n are integers and capital N is fundamental period of discrete time periodic signal, and m is any integer. So it must satisfy this condition. This is the essential condition. It must satisfy, that is omega n is equal to 2 pi m, or you can say that omega frequency was always the rational multiple of 2 pi, m upon 2 pi, that is 2 pi m upon n, rational multiplication of 2 pi. So for example, suppose we have sine 5 pi n as a discrete sinusoidal signal. Now comparing from this expression, phi is 0 and omega is equal to 5 pi, and again by comparing this general expression of omega, 5 pi is equal to, here you can put the 5 pi here, and pi to pi cancel out, and it becomes n is equal to 2 pi by 5m by comparing this. Okay, I think I may write here. So it comes out to be, after calculating this, it comes out to be 2 by 5m, where m is an integer. Now, but capital N, that is fundamental period, should also be an integer, and it comes only when small m varies from 5, 10, 15 and so on. So capital N becomes 2, 4, 6 and so on. So any case, first case, you can assume that first case you can take that for m equal to 5, n is equal to 2. It satisfies the equation also. Second example, cos 0.2 pi n. Suppose now omega is equal to 0.2 pi, and again 0.2 is 2 by 5, 2 by 5 is 1 by 2 by 10 is 1 by 5, and again comparing the pi by 5 with 2 pi by n into m, and comes out to be 10m. Similarly, and now for m equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on, n is 10, 20, 30 and so on. So it is again the first, we can take the first case, that is for m equal to 1, n is equal to capital 10. You can take any case as per the requirement, but generally we will take first one. Remember, if there is no pi in any sine 2n, sine 3n, cos 2n, cos 5n and so on, if there is no pi, then it is always a non-periodic signal. Okay, because this equality will not hold good, because if there is no pi in the angle. So it is easier to remember that if there is no pi, that is a non-periodic signal, otherwise it may be periodic. Okay. Third is the step function. If we call it unit step, if we have unity as a magnitude, otherwise it is a step function, that is abrupt change in amplitude. When t is positive, it is 1, when t is negative, it is 0. In discrete time domain, again, when n is positive, it is 1, n is negative, it is 0. Obviously, in continuous time domain, we show a straight line, and in discrete time domain, we show it by the help of samples. That is sample at 0 position, 1 position, 2 position, so on. And all samples have the equal magnitude of unity. If it is not unit step function, suppose, then it must have some amplitude, suppose A. Then you can write it here, A. Now, what is a physical example? It's a simple physical example is DC source, 5 volt source. 5 volt source means 5 UT. Okay. Or 5 UN in discrete domain, if you can say, and any constant source, any DC source, current source or voltage source can be represented using unit step functions. Second example is very important, rectangular pulse. These pulses are very important in the signal system. So these can be constructed using unit step function. How? You know the time shifting property in previous video, that we have xt minus t naught is any function, time shifted function. When t naught is negative, it will be shifted towards negative. When t naught is positive, it will be shifted towards positive. So suppose ut function, simple ut function is shifted towards left and right. First it is shifted towards left, it becomes at minus 1 by 2. So equation becomes ut minus 1 by 2, that is ut plus 1 by 2. Okay, and suppose in second case it is shifted towards right with the help of this ut minus 1 by 2. Okay, now if we subtract these two values, that is these two functions, this function ut plus 1 by 2 and ut minus 1 by 2 with amplitude A, obviously, then it becomes xt is equal to x2t minus x1t. xt is equal to, now simply putting the case that just take this unit step function, and this unit step function is minus from here. So this is actually from here, it is the second unit step function, and if we minus the unit step function, we only have this rectangular pulse. Okay. So we'll left with the rectangular pulse, and it is now xt is equal to having A amplitude, and its variation is minus 1 by 2 to 1 by 2. It's A, otherwise it is 0. So it is very important function which we'll use several times. Now, fourth is impulse function. It is also known as Dirac delta function. It is function that where it is only unity at t equal to 0, otherwise it is 0 in all other position. And second property is that area under this curve, area under this function is always unity. Delta t dt in minus infinity to infinite is unity. Okay. In discrete time domain, again t is replaced by n. Discrete time, n and delta n is equal to 1 when n equal to 0, otherwise it is always 0. Now suppose a rectangular pulse from the last discussion, having a rectangular pulse with delta width and 1 upon delta magnitude. That is, delta width means it varies from ut plus delta by 2 to ut minus delta by 2. Just we have put in the previous case, that is ut plus 1 by 2 and ut minus 1 by 2, that now it becomes delta by 2, delta by 2, and a is now 1 upon delta. So 1 upon delta ut plus delta by 2 minus ut minus delta by 2. Now this expression, suppose we will now compress this rectangular pulse. We are compressing this rectangular pulse. Compressing this rectangular pulse means delta becomes 0. So when delta becomes 0, this pulse will become a linear line and it becomes a impulse function. Okay, first case, second case, third case, and up to infinity it becomes a linear line case. So delta t is equal to limit delta tends to 0 x delta t. Now putting this x delta t here, it becomes the expression of differentiation. So delta t is equal to d by dt of ut. So it is another important expression that delta t and ut are differential pair basically. If we differentiate ut, it becomes delta t, and if we reverse the relation, then if we integrate delta t, it becomes ut. Okay, so ut and delta t are differential integral pair. Some important properties of impulse function are: it is even function, delta t is equal to delta minus t. Second, properties xt delta t minus t naught dt is equal to xt naught. It means when xt is sometimes some function varying with respect to time t, and you know that delta t function is only 1 at the position. If delta t position is here, now it is now shifted towards right, that is delta t minus t naught. Suppose here is the second delta t, this function. Okay, this function is this. So at this position only its value is unity, otherwise it is 0. So multiplying both the functions result only this value of xt, and it is nothing but the value of xt at time t naught. So it is xt naught. It is xt naught. Similarly, if t naught is to be in the second time domain, so second time it is t naught dash. Suppose now it is t naught dash. Suppose so our delta function will be shifted here, and now the value of x will comes out to be this one, that is xt naught dash. So any position, if you want to draw any value of xt, then we will shift the delta function in that particular location. We will shift here, we have this value. We will shift here, we have this value, and so on. So it is a shifting property of basically delta function, which can extract different values of xt. Third property is time scaling property. Delta at is equal to 1 upon a delta t for a is equal to positive. Fifth is the ramp function. Ramp function is rt is equal to t when t is positive, otherwise t is negative, it is equal to 0. Similarly for rn, discrete time domain, rn is equal to n when n is positive, otherwise it is 0. Or in terms of rt can be represented in terms of ut function, as it is also rt is equal to t ut or rn is equal to n un in discrete time. The representation is very easy, that is having unit slope, a single line having unit slope, because as the value of t, that is the value of rt, as the value of t, that is the value of rt. Here as the value of n, that is the value of rn. At 0 position its value is 0, at 1 position its value is 1, at 2 position its value is 2, and so on. So it is a unit slope basically. Physical example of this ramp function is a current source with a capacitor. Suppose DC current source is attached with capacitor having voltage Vt. Now current in this circuit will becomes It is equal to I naught ut. DC current source will be represented using unit step function always. Okay, I naught ut, and voltage across the capacitor becomes 1 upon c minus infinity to t I tau d tau. Now putting this it here and solving expression, we will not solve here. Vt is equal to I naught c into rt. That is this circuit will be represented using ramp function. So finally, conclusion of these elementary signal is that Delta t is when we integrate delta t, it becomes ut. When we integrate ut, it becomes rt. When we differentiate rt, it becomes ut. When we differentiate ut, it becomes delta t. It is the final conclusion of these three functions, and other two functions were sinusoidal function and exponential function, and these are also very important because exponential function is the basic building block. You remember e raised to power j omega t or e raised to power j omega n. It is in continuous time domain, it is discrete time domain. It is basic building blocks of Fourier transform as well, or Fourier series as well. So these five signals are very and important. And you know, by Euler's formula, e raised to power j omega t is always equal to cos omega t plus j sin omega t. So it is well known that the sinusoidal signal cos omega t and exponential signals are actually related to each other. That's why these two are basic building blocks along with step, impulse and ramp functions. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.